throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
This honestly might be the best offseason of all time. So many moves, so many contracts. Shout out to James Harden, man, as I'm making this video. He just got like a $240 mil 5-year deal, making 47 million bucks a year. Shout out to James Harden. So many options. You got this guy going here, that guy going there, he's going there, he's going there. It's insane. More than ever, it seems like the season never actually left. You have super teams being built everywhere. Stars gotta join to even compete. It is insane. But while everyone is making big threes and joining these names together, there's this team who are the reigning champions, who's won 67 games 3 years in a row, with 4 of the top 20 players in the league, 2 of the top 5, 3 of the greatest shooters of all time, top 10, not in order, and the defensive player of the year, being coached by Steve Kerr, who's worked with 2 of the top 3 coaches of all time. And they just added Nick Young, a guy when on hot is just as unstoppable as anyone in the league, and Caspi, a versatile wing who's a dead-eye shooter. That team's just chilling, and one of their stars is booling out in China, while everyone is stressing out making these super teams. But it's hard, man. It's hard not to get excited when you got the Wolves with a low-key big 3.5, the Rockets with 2 of the top 5 floor generals in the league, and the Thunder with the duo of Paul George and Russell Westbrook. It's hard to think that those teams have no chance at a title. Or do they? In my humble opinion, man, I don't think any of them do. I don't. Let's start with the Rockets. Okay, you have Chris Paul and Harden versus Clay and Steph, but who's guarding KD? PJ Tucker? He couldn't even guard LeBron, and LeBron couldn't even guard KD, so why would PJ Tucker be able to guard KD? Trevor Ariza? Nah, I don't think so, man. And even the backcourt. I know Harden definitely isn't destroying Clay on offense, and we all know Harden's defense. And with Curry and Paul, I mean, Curry has made Chris Paul a laughingstock the past couple of years. So just matchup wise, they don't really match up well. Play style closes the gap a little, but the Warriors would still be better offensively and defensively. And even if they trade for Melo, he's still not closing the gap by that much. So Houston, I don't think that's enough. Minnesota, honestly, out of all the teams, matchup wise, this team has the best chance to beat the Golden State Warriors in the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe not this year, absolutely not this year, but the year after, or the year after that, or the year after that, with that man Karl Anthony Towns getting better alongside Wiggins, with Jimmy Butler, Tibbs as the coach. I mean, their general manager has proven that they are capable of making moves. That's a scary thought. But this year, I just feel like even though matchup wise, they don't match up favorably, but they do match up well. 1, I still need to see how the parts play out on the court. And 2, they definitely need to make the playoffs first and get experience before even thinking about beating Golden State. With OKC, I think this year alone, they have the best chance to give Golden State problems in a playoff series. Defensively, they have the personnel to give Golden State the same problems that the Grizzlies gave them last year, along with the Spurs. The Spurs and the Grizzlies were physical, slow, and controlled the pace. I feel like OKC has the potential to do that same thing this year. You got Robertson and PG slowing down Clay and KD as much as possible, which is a better defensive duo than probably 90% of the league. Russ and Steph, I feel, will cancel out. Steven Adams versus Zaza, I'm going to give the edge to Steven Adams. And at the 4, if they're going with Patterson at the 4, which is what I'm assuming, Dre does win that matchup. So I think matchup-wise, they have the best chance. But I still don't think it's enough. And how can we forget about San Antonio? The only reason I put OKC over San Antonio is the pure star power. But San Antonio isn't that far behind. Matchup wise, they definitely aren't as favored as OKC, but the Spurs have not faced the Warriors healthy, or even at all, the past 2 years, which is a shame. In 2016, they won 67 games, obviously overshadowed by Golden State 73, and they also lost to OKC in 6, so they never got to meet, but they clearly had a shot back then. And last year, we all saw Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals before Kawhi got injured. And with that man, Greg Popovich, you simply cannot count them out. But still, even at that, even if Kawhi came back, I feel like the Warriors would still have won in 5 or 6. And this year, with the new pieces, with better chemistry, I still have Golden State winning that series 80% of the time, even with Rudy Gay on the Spurs. And the Cavs, I mean, the Cavs, I think they maxed out. I don't think they can get any better from here. LeBron's not getting any better. Kyrie, I guess, could get better, but Kevin Love, I don't think is getting any better. Their surrounding cast did not get better. Tyronn Lue is, I don't think he's a good coach, and Golden State got better actually. So I don't think that's enough, man. I don't think Cleveland's enough. So nothing's enough really. Personally, barring injury, I don't think anyone is stopping Golden State from repeating, except for an Anthony Davis trade. And not just to go to the Celtics, man, you know, I'd want that, but just to any contending team that can make a deal. Because I'm telling y'all right now, Golden State has an answer for everything and everyone in the league except for Anthony Davis. And I'm not kidding. In the 3 games the Warriors and the Pelicans played last year, the man averaged 35 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, shooting 60% from the field, and an offensive rating of 124. Mind y'all, the all-time record is 123. And even going back to 2015, I know this was a different team, but even back then, AD was already giving them the business. And defensively, I don't think KD adds that big of a difference from 2015 to now against KD specifically. Because in 2015, although it was a sweep, AD averaged 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks on 54% shooting from the field. Like, it's been proven that they have no answer for AD. But the Pelicans, being the Pelicans, cannot build a proper team around this generational talent. Because instead, they gave Drew Holiday a 5-year, $100 million plus contract while having no draft picks for the next 2 years and no cap space, while Boogie's set to be a free agent next season. While the Pelicans, as it is right now, you can argue they're not even a top 6 seed. No, actually, you can argue they're not even a playoff team. Spam out free AD in the comment section, man. But going back to the Warriors, personally, I don't see an incoming combination of talent that's actually possible to build, given contract situations and availability, just in general, that would actually beat the Warriors for the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, everyone's talking about Paul George and LeBron going to LA, but so what? Are they beating Golden State? That's just a free championship for Golden State again. But should teams essentially just give up? No, I don't think so. Because, first of all, it's impossible for 29 teams to tank. You know, the talent has to go somewhere and teams have to make the playoffs. Teams like the Rockets and the Spurs and the Thunder basically have no choice but to try. Popovich sure as hell will never tank. The Rockets have Harden in his prime, and as I said, they just gave him, what, a 5-year, $47 million per year deal, and, you know, only Clint Capella as their prospect of the future. The Thunder have Westbrook, the only hope of that city, on an expiring contract. And the Cavs, well, they could rebuild around Kyrie, but who wants to be known as the guy who traded LeBron? Those teams have no option but to try right now. The problem is, I don't see a scenario where a star player that would change the playing field is available via trade or something like that, and those teams having the assets and the pieces to trade for that guy. There's a reason why Ainge is so hesitant with those draft picks. There's a reason as to why the 76ers have been tanking. Because from the looks of it, right now, in the near future, we're just all living in Golden State's world. These other teams are just trying to make the next world theirs. So in conclusion, man, it's hard to admit, it really is, but the Golden State Warriors really are unstoppable. Because the way the league is set up and how the players are located where they are, it is extremely hard to make a team that will even compete with Golden State, let alone beat them. But with that being said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace. #FreeAD.